Hey guys, today I'm going to study about Exodus chapter 22, so let's get into it. When a man steals an ox or sheep and butchers it or sells it, he must repay 5 cattle for the ox or 4 sheep for the sheep. So, if a man steals an ox or sheep and kills it and then sells it, he must give up more for what he done. So, 5 cattle for the ox. So, or 4 sheep for the sheep. So, he has to pay, he has to give back more than what he took. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking in and is being theft, no one's guilty of bloodshed. But if this happens after sunrise, the householder is guilty of bloodshed. A thief must be made full restoration. If he's unable, he is to be sold because of his death. So if a thief is caught in the bad breaking and then he got killed by someone, then no one's guilty of the bloodshed. But if this happens after sunrise, so this happens in the morning, the householder is guilty of killing him. So if a thief breaks in the night and the householder kills him, then he's not guilty. But if a thief comes in during the morning and he kills him, then he's guilty of the bloodshed because if it's a night, it's more likely that you will die from the thief, but it's that morning, you could call for help and get someone, get him detained and stuff like that. A thief must make full restitution. If he's unable, he is to be sold because of his death. So if someone steals something, and he doesn't pay back in full what he stole, then he must be sold because he stole. If it was stolen or whether ox, donkey, or sheep is actually found alive in possession, he must repay double. So if you find what he's stolen alive, he must pay it the double. So if you take back what is yours, and then I think he pays back. He pays if he stole an ox, you take back your ox, and he also gives up another. He gives you another ox. When a man lets a field or vineyard be grazed in and then allows his animals to go and graze in as someone else's fields, he must repay with the best of his own field or vineyard. So if a man if a man has his animals graze someone else's field, he must give the person he must the man. The man who had his animals eat the other person's vineyard, he must pay that person the best of his own field and vineyard. When the fire gets out of control, it spreads to the thorn bush and consumes stacks of cut grain, standing grain or field. The one who started the fire must make full resolution of what was burned. So if someone starts a fire and gets out of control and consumes a bunch of stuff, they must pay back what was destroyed by the fire. When a man gives his neighbor valuables or goods to keep, but they are stolen from that person's house, the thief, if caught, must repay double. If the thief is not caught, the owner of the house must present himself to the judges and to determine whether or not he has taken his neighbor's property. So, if the thief is caught, he must repay back double what he stole. And so this is obviously this whole stealing, paying extra what you stole is to so that people realize they steal. And if he's not caught, he will present himself to the judge to determine whether or not he has taken his neighbor's property. So if the person's not caught, then they will be tried to see if they did steal. In any case of wrongdoing involving an ox, a donkey, a sheep, a garment, or anything else lost, and someone claims that's mine, the case between the two parties will come before the judge. The one the judge condemns must pay double to his neighbor. So if someone says that someone took their ox, a donkey, or a sheep, or a garment, or anything else lost, and it's not obvious that it happened, then they are to present between before the judges, and the judge will decide who actually didn't own the thing, and then he must have paid double to his neighbor. When a man gives his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any other animal to care for, but it dies, is injured, or stolen while no one is watching, there must be an oath before the law between the two of them to determine whether or not he has taken his neighbor's property. Its owner must accept the oath, and the other man does not have to make the resolution. But if in fact the animal is stolen from his custody, he must make a resolution to its owners. So if a man gives his neighbor like a donkey, a sheep, or any other animal to care for, and it dies, then if they made an oath between the Lord and the two of them determine whether or not he is taking his neighbor's property, another man does not have to make resolution, because if he gives him the animal, then if it dies, he doesn't have to pay back. But if the animal is stolen, then he must make resolution. So if he stole the animal and it died, then he has to pay back what was stolen. If it was actually torn apart by a wild animal, he's to bring as evidence. He does not have to make resolution for the torn carcasses. So if it was killed by an animal, he will bring his evidence, and he doesn't have to pay for it because it wasn't his fault. When a man borrows an animal from his neighbor and his injured dies while its owner is not there with it, the man must make a full resolution. If the owner is there with it, the man does not have to make resolution. If it was rented, the loss is covered by its rental price. So if a man borrows an animal and his neighbor is not there and dies, he must pay it back. But if the owner was there, then he does not have to pay it back. And if he was renting it, then he has to pay the rental price. If a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged and he steals it for her, he must certainly pay the bribe price for her to be his wife. If her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he must pay an amount of silver equal to the bridal price for virgins. So, if a man sleeps with a virgin, like a young woman who has not had sex yet, he must pay for the price for her to be the wife, and if his father refuses, then he has to pay even extra to I think like get married to her, or like to, like not get killed or whatever. Do not allow a sorceress to live. So don't allow someone who practices sorcery to continue on living and practice what they are doing. Whoever has sexual intercourse with an animal must be put to death. So, bestiality, if you have sex with an animal, you should get killed. Because humans are not made to sleep with animals. Whoever sacrifices any gods except the Lord alone is to be set apart for destruction. So if you worship any other gods, any other idols except for the Lord, because all the gods are false gods, then you should be set apart for destruction, because you are defined the Lord, your God. You must not exploit a resident alien or oppress him, since you're a resident alien in the land of Egypt. So if immigrant is in the land, and like resident alien is in the land, you should not oppress him or like trick him and exploit him, because you were a resident alien in Egypt. You were like literally in the same situation that he was. You must not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, they will no doubt cry to me, and I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will burn, and I will kill you with the sword. Then your wives will be widows, and your children fatherless. So, don't mistreat any widows or any childs that don't have any fathers, because if you do mistreat them, they will cry to me, and I will punish you for how you've been mistreating them by making your wives widows and your children fatherless. If you lend silver to my people, to the poor person money, you must not be like a creditor to them. You must not charge him interest. So if you lend money to my people, to the poor people, so if you lend money to poor people, you should not charge him interest. You should just have him pay back what you gave him, not any extra. If you ever take your neighbor's clothes as a collateral, return it to him before sunset. For it is only his clothing, it is a clothing for his body. Where will he sleep in? If he cries out to me, I will listen, because I am gracious. So you ever take your neighbor's clothes collateral? So like when you lend something, you need like something to make sure that he pays it back. Like give it back to him before sunset, because then he has nothing to sleep in. And if he cries out to me, I would listen because I'm gracious. So I might like punish you for being like like rude and like greedy and trying to like scam people. You must not blaspheme God or cause a leader or money or people. So you shouldn't disrespect God. That's what blasphemy means, disrespect, or like get mad, like cause a leader, like a leader money or people. So you shouldn't like say this leader should like I'm gonna cause this leader with like something bad happen to this leader, or I mean this leader should die. No, you shouldn't do that. Or you should, or and also you should most definitely not disrespect God. You must not hold back offerings from your harvest or your vats. Give the meat the firstborn of your sons. Do the same with your cattle and your flock. Let them stay with their mothers for 7 days. On the 8th day, you ought to give them to me. So you should not hold back your offerings. So whatever you harvest or your vats, you should give to me. Like as much, like you should give to me as much as you should, and not hold anything back. And give me the firstborn of your sons, and do the same with your cattle. Like you can let them stay for 7 days, but on the 8th day you must give them to me. Be my holy people. You must not eat the meat of an mauled animal found in the fields. Throw it to the dog. So if any animal is mauled by another animal, then you should not eat it. You should throw it to the dogs. Because most likely their meat is not like healthy. Like it's probably like filled with like bacteria. Yes, it's like it's not roadkill, but it's like similar to roadkill in how like unhealthy it will be. But yeah. So this is Exodus chapter 22, which is about laws about death and laws about crops and protection of that, and then laws about personal property, laws that if a man seduces a virgin, then he must pay to be her wife, and other offenses that are really bad, and laws to like protect the vulnerable, the less like off people, and then have respect for like God, and also like don't like cause your leaders, and like give God what he deserves. Which is a lot of things, and yeah. So if any experienced Christian sees this and I said something wrong, please grab me. And if you like this video, like it. And if you think I'm doing something good, subscribe. And I will see you the next day. If the Lord wills. Bye.